Skin. Let's now go to integumentary disorders. Let's discuss anatomy and physiology. The skin, long recognized as the largest organ, is responsible for providing the first line of defense in the entire body. While many body systems interact closely, the skin is a highly dynamic structure that achieves many specific functions within its individual structures. These functions include preventing fluid loss, providing a barrier of invading organisms, relaying sensations of touch, temperature, and pain, regulating body temperature and blood pressure, synthesizing vitamin D, excreting sweat, urea, and lactic acid. The skin structure is comprised of the epidermis, the dermis, and the subcutaneous tissue. The functional layers are clearly stratified, however, they may vary in depth depending upon location in the body. Here we have the structure of the skin. The epidermis is the outermost avascular layer of the skin. It contains 4 to 5 layers. The stratum corneum, the stratum lucidum, mostly found in skin on the hands and feet, the stratum granulosum, stratum spinosum, and stratum germinativum. Keratinocytes found in the basal layer, stratum germinativum, produce and synthesize waterproof protein keratin cells, which protect the skin. The early germinal keratinocytes multiply and migrate upward in an unorganized fashion through the epidermal layers until they lose their nucleus and form the tough layer of dead keratinocytes of the stratum corneum. The average epidermis differentiates upward from the basal layer to the stratum corneum every 30 days. After 14 days, the topmost level sheds and is placed with the next level. In addition to keratinocytes, the epidermis contains melanocytes, pigment producing cells that give skin its color. Sometimes referred to as the true skin, the dermis is composed of 2 layers, a thin upper layer, a papillary dermis, and a thicker lower layer, the reticular dermis. The reticular dermis lies between the papillary dermis and the subcutaneous tissue. As a connective tissue layer, the dermis provides strength and stability. The fibrous matrix of collagen and elastin is set in a disorganized fashion so that movement and resistance can occur. The dermis is composed of cells, nerves, and blood vessels. Most hair follicles originate in this level. The subcutaneous layer of skin, which binds to the dermis underlying body tissue, is composed of fat and connective tissues. Some sweat glands and deep hair follicles extend into this layer of skin. Adipose deposition provides a cushioning base for the subcutaneous layer. Skin appendages. In addition to the layered skin, the skin appendages, the nails, hair, eccrine glands, and apocrine glands make up the full complement of the integument, the hair. The structure of the hair consists of the follicle, shaft, sebaceous gland, and erector pili muscle. Blood vessels in the hair papilla in the bulb nourish and maintain the follicle. As with the skin, melanocytes found in the bulb provide the color. We have here the structure of the hair. The hair shaft is a shaft of dead protein. It originates in the living cells of the matrix, which then multiply and arise from the hair follicle. The hair growth cycle continuously evolves through 3 stages: the anagen or the growth stage, the catagen, the transitional follicular regression stage, and the telogen, the resting stage. Recognizing the hair biology and growth phases of the hair aids in the understanding of the hair loss disorders. The nails found on the fingers and toes are keratinized plates. The anatomy of the normal nail unit includes the hard keratin nail plate, the nail bed, and the proximal nail fold and the nail matrix. Nails serve to protect the fingers and toes. They grow out of the nail groove. The nail matrix, the germinal region of the nail plate, forms the floor of the nail groove. The nail bed attaches the nail plate to the underlying epidermis. Eccrine gland. Eccrine sweat glands originate in the dermis. Under control by the hypothalamus, they regulate body temperature through water secretion and evaporation. They are distributed and open directly to the surface of the skin in all areas but lip margins, nail beds, inner surface of the prepuce, and the glans penis, the apocrine glands. The apocrine glands are located deep in the dermal layer in the areas of the axilla, nipple, areola, eyelids, external ears, and in the anogenital regions. Apocrine secretions are clear and odorless and are released under cholinergic and hormonal control. When mixed with bacteria on the surface, the secretions produce body odor. Thank you for your attention.